so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Everything's adding up. You've been through hell and back. That's why you're bad as fuck, and you know you are. I'm so proud of you.
What up, Donk Squad? It's your homegirl here, Donk. Having a great day. I hope you guys are too. I just left the gym. Pretty impressed with myself. I ran 1.5 miles in like 11 flat. It's pretty good considering like 10 years ago I ran in like 10:30. But anyways, it's another Therapy Thursday, and I have to say a couple things before we start. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe the love, the support, everybody who came through in that last video and just shared their own story and talked about their own troubles with anxiety. And I saw exactly what I wanted to see, other people encouraging and helping other people to stay strong. And it was such a beautiful thing. It's nothing like humans supporting other humans. And the last thing was, you guys have nicknamed me my new absolute favorite nickname ever, Dr. Donk. Like, I love that so much. So today is Therapy Thursday, and I'm excited about this topic, and I'm nervous about this topic too. I'm nervous about this topic because I don't know that much about it. Yes, I learned, you know, the typical things you learn about it in my undergrad studies, but outside of that, I've never really had personal experience with it. I guess you could say I had personal experience with it in terms of me using food in an abusive manner to cope, but outside of that, that's about as far as it goes. I had a young lady write in, and for the point of this video, her alias will be Jenny. She wrote in and she said, "Hey, I absolutely love your Therapy Thursdays. It's the coolest thing ever. And I just want to let you know that I am a recovering drug addict. I've been sober for over a year now." Woo, woo, very proud of you, Jenny. And she said, "What advice would you offer to, you know, addicts or, you know, to recovering addicts?" And I was like, man, honestly, I don't know. I feel like, sure, I could talk to you from an academic level, but I feel like the powers in relatability, it's not talking to you from a textbook. And I said, so I'll strike you a deal. How about we talk and you use me as a vessel to get your message out? Because I truly believe that recovering addicts are the best forms of inspiration, and they know it best because they've walked it. They know what to do. They know way better than I ever could. So this story is from Jenny. The thing I want to get across is that drug addicts are not bad people. Alcoholics are not bad people. You know, when I was in elementary school, they taught us stranger danger. People who use drugs are criminals and they're bad people. No, that's not true. And people can be introduced to drugs or alcohol through several different ways. Nobody just wakes up and says, "Hey, I want to like ruin my life today and I'm going to set out to go find some meth." No, like that's not how that works. They're usually introduced to it through peer pressure or through prescribed medication, or because they're dealing with the past trauma in which they never really dealt with on their own, so they're just trying to cope. It could be hereditary. There's so many different causes and reasons for it. And yes, it's important to take responsibility. I get that, but they're not bad people. So I really want this to be a judgment-free zone, because this is a very, I think, sensitive topic, but one that's going to be controversial as well. So everybody, let's just remain respectful, please. Also, for my people who do not understand a drug addiction or, you know, alcohol addiction, I want to kind of broaden your perspective and put it in relatable terms for you in which you can understand. This way, if you have a friend that's coping with it or struggling with it, you will understand what they're going through. And I think that we can all relate to wanting to lose weight and cut back on our diets, but we just can't because we have a strong addiction to our food. Did you know that research actually showed that sugar is 100 times more stronger in terms of addiction than methamphetamine is? That is flooring. That is insane. So that day that you're craving a chocolate chip cookie, but you know you shouldn't because you're trying to cut back, but you just keep craving and craving, you have to have it, and then you finally cave in and you eat a chocolate chip cookie, and then you eat the entire bag. It's kind of what drug use is like, except for 1,000 times fold. It's worse. It's to the point that if you don't have the drug, you actually become extremely ill. So ill that you have to go to the hospital. For us, if we're cutting out sugar or caffeine, we might just get a headache and feel a little lethargic. That's about the extent of it. So I want to use that as a comparison so you can understand that when we're trying to diet, if it was so easy, everybody could stick to their diet and would never relapse. It's the same thing for drugs. If they could just get off of it, they could. If they could just stop drinking, they would. But it's not easy like that. If you have a parent, a brother, or a sister, or anybody that you know that is addicted to drugs or is an alcoholic, maybe you can watch this video and figure out what Jenny did to help your friend or your family member. In Jenny's case, she ultimately used it as a form of coping for something that happened in her childhood. She had something horrible happen in her childhood, and no person ever should ever have to deal with this. And she said the one way that she probably could have prevented this whole thing is if she would have told somebody. She said if she wouldn't have ignored it and actually sought treatment and told somebody, that maybe her drug use could have been avoided. But instead, she, like most of us, when we're undergoing severe stress or we're undergoing a traumatic event or a situation, we try to suppress it and pretend like it's not there. And she said that was the absolute wrong thing to do. She wanted me to emphasize, get treatment, get help. Don't pretend like it's not there. Not all drug addicts are homeless and on the street. She was actually a functional drug addict, and I was floored by knowing that she was able to keep a full-time job and still continue to use the drugs that she was using. I've never even heard of it. But anyways, I think that played a part into her denying that she had a problem, because she was able to still function. She still was able to go to work. She still was able to do normal things. Eventually, the drug use just got super bad, and it got to a point where the drugs actually made her feel worse and made her feel more depressed. Just like in my anxiety video, by me coping with food, it made me feel worse and more depressed. It just exasperated the issue. Same thing for drugs and alcohol. So it got to a point where her anxiety and her depression was just through the roof. And the only time she could escape it at that point was if she used drugs, but she knew that drugs was also what was causing it. So eventually she woke up and she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to change my life. The problem is that every time she would try to change, she would relapse for two reasons. And that was A, her friends, and B, when she would finally be clean, she would always find herself in a very toxic relationship that would send her spiraling down. So her advice for these two things is, for one, if you want to quit using drugs, or if you want to get off the alcohol, or whatever it is that you want to quit, you need to leave behind the people that are enabling the behavior or doing the behavior as well. It's kind of like being in a workout group and having a workout buddy. You both want to, have a clean diet, and you both want to work out and lose weight, but maybe one person's motivational level might be lower than yours. So the day that you're pumped to go to the gym, they say, no, let's go have that slice of pizza. And then tomorrow we'll get good. Tomorrow we'll eat clean. Tomorrow we'll go to the gym. Same exact thing for her and her friends. And the problem is, tomorrow never came. So finally she said, that is absolutely it. I'm over this. She cleared her social media. She moved across the country. She switched jobs. She fell off the map. She had to get rid of that life. She had to leave everybody behind it. And she said, don't feel guilty about it, because everybody's motivational levels are different. She said when she started getting clean again, she got her family back. She built a stronger relationship with her parents. And the things that she started wanting to do in life, she actually started doing. Because of her job, she was very lucky to be able to still be provided with health care. So she went to her healthcare provider and said, hey, you know, I have this drug addiction. I need help. The number one thing that she said in regards to this is don't let this hinder you from going to get help. They're not going to call the authorities, okay? They're there to help you to get better. So if you're abusing alcohol or if you're abusing drugs, they're not going to call the cops. And at that point, she was able to meet her physical health needs, but now it's time to address the really hard stuff. And that was the mental health needs. And so she went to seek therapy. And she started talking about those things that happened to her when she was a little baby. And it was a tough road. But she said it felt good to just basically, you know, get all of that off her chest and start talking about that stuff. And she realized that she didn't do anything wrong. She was a child. And a lot of that guilt and that anger, she was just able to get rid of it. She underwent cognitive behavioral therapies, again, talked about this in my last video as well. Able to really help you figure out what those trigger points are and a plan of action so you can calm down in the moment. A year after Jenny being completely single and not being with anybody, which she says is incredibly important, because during this time of being single, don't sexually entertain anybody. Don't do any of that. Just take this time to love you. Love yourself. Take this time to get to know you and find you and stop running away. After a year of her being completely single and sober, she finally decided to enter into a healthy relationship in which the first thing that she looked for was the person's mental health. And I was so happy to hear that, because I think that should be the first thing that everybody looks at. She's now in just a very healthy relationship. And for the first time in her life, she says she's happy. And that makes me happy. I love that. She said that if she had to go through it all over again, that she would. Because for her entire life, she just felt like she was running away. And now she finally feels like she has a second chance at life. And she has a more fundamental appreciation for life than she ever did before. That her life now actually means something to her. And that's beautiful. The last thing that she said that really helped her out, and she said that's super important, was to find a goal. Find something that you love and work towards that. For her, it was always a dirt bike. That's all that she ever wanted as a little girl, but she never thought she would be able to obtain it. While working at her job and being clean and thinking right, she started each month putting a little bit away, saving up for her dirt bike. And then finally over time, she was able to acquire it. And now she says it's just literally the best thing ever. And she can't believe that it's hers. And it was in the cards for her the entire time. She just didn't believe in herself enough. She said when you're an addict, it's so important to have a goal, because when you're an addict, each day, your primary goal and focus is to not do drugs, is to not take a drink of alcohol. It's very similar to somebody who's trying to eat clean and lose weight and is on a diet. It's not enough every day to just say, eat healthy, because that's all that you focus on. And then therefore, since that's all you're focusing on, your cravings just start going like crazy. Same thing for alcohol, same thing for drugs, and the next thing you know, you end up relapsing again. So she said you have to have a stronger goal than that, because it's not going to be enough. Find something that you love, find something that you want to do, and work towards that. The last thing that she wanted me to say was, don't push your family away. Don't push the people away who are trying to help you, who are trying to basically intervene and provide an intervention. They're just doing it because they love you and they want their relative back or their friend back. You're not too far gone. It's not too late. You can change any day. And when you start to begin your journey of getting clean, of giving up whatever it is that you're addicted to, and you happen to relapse, you gotta forgive yourself. It's just like I said in my last video, Every minute's a new minute, every hour is a new hour, and every day is a new day. So if you mess up, you have another opportunity to get clean again. You're absolutely not alone. There's thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of drug addicts and alcoholics and people who are using any form of substance really to cope, or that they're addicted to, and which is harmful to them. But you can turn it around. You can turn it around, and the treatment's not a joke. And going to, AA meetings, or going to, drug meetings that are similar to AA, it's not a joke, it's really helpful. Go, seek treatment. She totally understands that, not everybody is going to have health care. Not everybody's going to be able to afford it. So there's a list of resources that she researched for you that you can reach out and start getting help. It's not too late. I believe in you. She believes in you, and we're here for you. Okay, we're here for you. So until I see you next time, Donk. No, I'm sorry, Dr. Donk.